Mick, one of the few positives for the Blues in season 2014 has been the emergence of Dylan Buckley, of course son of the great Jimmy, three-time premiership player with the Blues, and he's certainly making his mark, and he's with us. Dylan, good morning, mate. Congratulations on your rise in AFL football.
G'day, boys. Thanks for having me.
It's obviously been pretty tough, certainly last week, although before that you had a couple of good weeks.
Yeah, look, it's been interesting coming into the AFL team, I think. I suppose the first few games we were thereabouts, we just couldn't finish and couldn't put four quarters together, and then obviously to get the two wins against the Dogs and West Coast was amazing. But obviously again we probably took a little step back on the weekend against Collingwood, just not being able to put four quarters together again.
Hey Dylan, congratulations on your start to your AFL career. You've been a fantastic shining light for the Blues. Tell us about that goal against the Eagles. The celebration was good. What a beauty.
I think I'll leave it there. I got a bit caught up there, but I'm sure the boys find me a few times during the week. But obviously I was just pretty excited, and that was my first AFL win. So to get the job done against the Eagles, especially in the manner that we did it, it was contributors throughout the whole team in that last quarter. And I suppose when you come along from wins like that, you need everyone pulling their part. And I was just lucky enough to get on the end of one of Robbie's nice taps, and she'll just pass it out to me at the back, and was lucky enough to go through. So
there's an easy solution to pay your fines, mate.
What's that?
Get the money off your dad because he didn't even see it. He'd left the ground, apparently.
Yeah, I know. He told me that, actually.
Did he? He told you?
Yeah, Dad still owes me, so...
What sort of effort is that from your father, not even to be there for you, mate? That must be disappointing.
No, it wouldn't be the first time.
He knows his dad real well.
And good morning, Jimmy, because Jimmy will be listening.
He's listening. Don't worry about that. I made sure he was. Now, listen, Dill, tell us about, obviously, getting to become an AFL footballer. You've had some frustrating times in your footy life because of injury.
Oh, yeah, I have. I've had a few little setbacks, but I suppose it wouldn't be anyone's story if they had no setbacks. So I've had a couple of shoulder injuries. I had one at the end of last year, just got fixed up, but just starting to sort of get used to my body now and starting to add a little bit of weight. So I've still got a long way to go with my body weight. I've just got to obviously stay on top of all my little niggly problems that every player has. So besides that, I'm just trying to obviously add and maintain body weight and get a bit stronger and get a bit fitter. But at the moment, I've had a good pre-season with our new fitness manager, David Butterfin. So he's really helped me out in that sort of sense and made me feel like I belong at the level and I can play there and hopefully keep a spot. What
do you weigh now?
I weigh about 76 kilos at the moment.
And what do they want to get you to?
I'll need to get to about 80 kilos by the start of next year. It's a bit hard to add weight during the season because of the game day. Obviously, it takes a lot out of you and training sessions. But pre-season probably next year I'll try and get my body weight up, but that can't compromise my running because it's always hard to put on weight and run because you're obviously running with the extra load.
And what were you when you come into the AFL system?
I was about 66 kilos.
Gee whiz. So you put on 10 kilos on your frame already. That's great.
Yeah, it's getting there.
That's the balance, I suppose, Dylan, because one of your great attributes is your pace. And there's been lots of players over the history of the game that have put on lots of bulk and then have lost their key strength, and that's the pace. So it's a fine line to get the balance right, I imagine.
Yeah, I suppose it definitely is. For me, probably, like I said, I like to run and carry the ball, but I think it's just important to feel comfortable in your own skin. Like I look at players like Kade Simpson, and he's played his whole career probably weighing about 60 kilos, and he puts his head over the pill and wins his own footy. So I've played a lot of my footy, obviously always being skinny, so it's not like I've always had a big body to sort of adapt to those things anyway. So I'm pretty happy playing however big I can get, but for now I just want to sort of try and keep my attributes, keep my speed and try and kick the ball well, and I'll be happy.
How have you found defence?
Yeah, I've been loving down the fence. When Mick gave me the tap last year to go down, I've really enjoyed it. I think it's just given me something to concentrate on, and you can't really ball watch at all because playing on such good small forwards in the competition. 1 minute you're right near them and you're watching something. The next minute they're 20 metres behind you running back to goal. So you just always got to be concentrating, and I've learned that a few times this year. I've just got to make sure that I'm continually developing in that area and It's probably the first time I've ever played defence, so I've still got a lot to learn, but at the moment I'm loving it.
Who's the smartest forward you've played on thus far?
Smartest forward. I think it'd probably be Lindsay Thomas. My first game down back in the NAB Cup, I played on him, and he'd be standing in front of me, and I'd look at the ball and then turn around and be probably 30 metres behind me in the goal square. So I just had to learn from that. And he's pretty elusive, those small forwards.
Do you feel like it's teaching you a lesson of forward play as well, and that sometime down the track you might end up going forward? You'll be better off for the experience in defence?
Oh, definitely. I know what forwards don't like, so I can definitely take that into if I was a forward, and then vice versa. I know what defenders don't like. You hate being trailed around by a small forward, but then again, they probably don't like being pushed up the ground. So I suppose I can learn from both ways.
Dylan, what's your tank like? You got great speed. Can we see you one day, probably not too far away, in the midfield?
Oh, that's probably the aim one day, get back in the midfield. But my tank probably coming into the system was probably about as good as my body. It wasn't very good at all. So that's one thing that I've had to improve on, and it's just a gradual improvement because of my body weight as well. Putting the weight on and running, it can only go so far at a time. If I put too much weight on, I'll get obviously it's harder to run. So it's just that gradual improvement. I've just got to keep going, and hopefully throughout the year I can just keep getting fitter. I'm doing extra running through training and stuff like that.
Who do you like, the happy Mick or the grumpy Mick?
Mick's good. That's funny because he's not really nothing like he is in the media at that training.
Yeah, all players say that, don't they?
Yeah, he's been great for me this year. He's always kept a close eye on my development, and he's just been helping me through, and it's been good. He's really helped me out.
It's been a bit confusing from the outside looking in, Dylan, about where your football club's at. At the start of the year, there was talk about being at the start of the premiership window, and then Mick Moldhouse's comments after the game on Friday night was about regeneration. What's the message internally about where you're at?
Oh, we're just taking each week as it comes at the moment. We're, I suppose we haven't finished off as many games as we'd like, but we're still we feel that on our day we're a very competitive team and we can match it with the best. So for us, it's just putting 4 quarters of consistent effort together, and I feel that when we do that, then we can beat anyone.
What was the message out of the game on last Friday, particularly the last quarter where you kicked 8 goals? And look, you could argue that Collingwood dropped off, whatever, but the facts are you kicked 8 goals. Can you take some positives out of that? Was that talked about post-match?
Oh, I think you can take some positives out of it, but I think the damage was already done and we had to address those areas that got us in that position in the first 3 quarters, and obviously we weren't up to scratch, and that's not taking anything away from Collingwood. They were a great outfit on the night, and their defensive pressure was very high. So we more addressed the first 3 quarters, but obviously, it was good not to go away with nothing to look positive out of the game.
Dylan, I was very critical Monday morning here about the Carlton effort. When you're at your best against the Bullies, you had 88 tackles. You're terrific in that facet against the Eagles with 73. But not so much on Friday night against Collingwood, 49. I think that combined with your attack on the footy, I'm pretty sure Mick would have detailed that in review. Am I right?
Yeah, he that's what any coach asks, is just for effort, and we pride ourselves. We want to go out there, and everyone wants to give effort in the game. I don't think anyone goes out there and says I don't want to give any effort today, but it's just something that's we've got to make sure that it's our one wood, and we run out each game and we can give effort. And if you lose and you give effort, at least you can hold your head high after the game. But if you lose and you don't, then that's when you sort of question yourself.
Are you confident Bryce Gibbs will stay?
Oh yeah, look, I'm pretty confident. He's a very crucial part of our team, and he's a leader in our leadership group, and I think Bryce will stay. I think he spoke to the media yesterday and said that there was a deal that was getting pretty close to being done. So hopefully they can get that done, and seal the deal would be good.
Now I want to talk about your dad, Dylan, as well. You're obviously too young to have watched him play live, but has he told you how good he was? Dad's actually pretty modest like that. He's not one to really brag too much. I sort of know. Hey, are we talking about the same bloke?
Do you wear earmuffs?
Yeah, I know. He does. He jokes around with his mates, but with me, he doesn't really say too much about it.
So he hasn't pulled out the old videotapes to show you how good he was?
He wouldn't know where they are, Dylan, would they?
Yeah, I think he's giving them off to everyone else. Yeah.
Does he offer up advice, Dills?
Only, if I come home and I've had a good game, he won't say much, but if I come home and I've had a stinker, then he'll probably just let me know about it then. So if I come home and he's not talking, then I know I've probably gone all right.
Fantastic. All right, mate, it's been great having a chat. Well done on your form and well done on establishing yourself in this Carlton side. It's great to see, mate. So we appreciate your time this morning. Good luck.
No worries, boys. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Dylan Buckley, son of the great Jimmy Buckley, joining us on RSN.